wanted to open up the conversation again and see some of the issues and projects or things that you all are dealing with within, the Southwest Detroit context.
Being a lifetime resident of Detroit, my family got to Corktown in the 1890s. And growing up, everything from the Lodge Freeway to River Rouge, from Jefferson to Warren, was Southwest Detroit. Corktown was still Corktown, but this is where all our families came from. This was the original immigrant neighborhood here in Corktown. Over the last 7 years or so, the Hispanic community has completely disappeared from this area. Southwest Detroit grew its own nonprofits, it grew its own business district, it grew everything out of necessity that nobody was coming in to save us. And now that we have built this beautiful community, we're being pushed out by development.
I also come from immigrant parents. My dad was Italian and my mother's Mexican, and they came in the early 1900s, landed in Southwest Detroit. And so I know Corktown very well because of my father's heritage, and I know Mexican Town very well because of my mother's heritage. I was born in the 48217 area, lived there for 40 years. I just came off of Rosa Park, and I didn't even know if I was turning right on Trumbull because of all that new development, and I'm here all the time. People don't want to say it's gentrification, but it is gentrification, and it's not about a culture. It's about a culture, not a race right now, because I have my white allies, residents in Corktown that are just as scared. They're losing their piece of the pie too, and so now it's about the green. It really is about classism versus racism. I mean, our neighborhoods are struggling.
There's this thing going on that we need to develop Detroit. And Detroiters have been developing all along. We've upped the game on what is community engagement. And we're going to other meetings, development meetings. We go to a development meeting for something in Corktown and we're told we got to get this done by such and such because that's this corporation's timeline. What on earth does that have to do with our timeline?
The other concern that hasn't been addressed here is our Latino population that is undocumented, and how many times that's a barrier for even citizens of the United States. Their children that are born in this country have difficulty with making those roots that you were talking about because they're not able to identify. They're not able to root themselves and say, I belong here. They're not, even they've came to the program, but at home they're living a different situation where at any time they're gonna be unrooted for where they're at. They're gonna be sent to their countries, or they're gonna have to stay with uncle and aunt, and their family dynamics is gonna change.
One of the hot button issues around that is should citizenship be included as a question on that, on the upcoming census form, and I just wanted to get some of the perspective from you all who are working, directly in policy and in this, heavy immigrant community about that in particular.
I know we got to get counted. I know the resources that are not coming to us per person in our city, to our communities because they're not counted. However, with this administration and this not knowing, if that box goes on there, it's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be really hard. I'm not saying I'm not gonna, but it'll be really hard for me to promote to get counted if you have a chance of if you are undocumented and you have a chance of getting deported.